The road to Emmaus. As the afternoon sun cast long shadows across the dusty road to Emmaus, two friends walked together, their hearts heavy with the events they had witnessed in Jerusalem. The gentle spring breeze carried the sweet scent of wildflowers, and birds called softly to one another in the olive groves that lined their path. Their footsteps fell in a steady rhythm as they shared their thoughts and feelings about all that had occurred. The road stretched before them, winding through rolling hills dotted with cypress trees and flowering shrubs. The village of Emmaus lay about 7 miles ahead, a peaceful destination where they hoped to find some rest and solace. As they walked, they spoke in quiet tones about Jesus, remembering his teachings and trying to make sense of the stories they had heard that morning. The air was growing softer as the day began its gentle decline toward evening, and the landscape was painted in warm golden hues. It was in this peaceful moment that another traveler drew near to them on the road. His approach was quiet and unassuming, like a friend catching up to walk alongside them. The stranger joined their conversation with natural ease, his presence bringing a subtle sense of peace to their troubled hearts. Though they did not recognize him, there was something in his voice that invited trust and opened their minds to deeper understanding. As they walked together, the path seemed to grow easier, and their burdens felt somewhat lighter. The unknown companion listened with gentle attention as they shared their story, their words flowing freely in the comfortable atmosphere he created. As they walked, he began to explain the ancient scriptures to them, connecting the events they had witnessed to prophecies of old. His voice was warm and soothing, like honey on a summer breeze, and his words seemed to illuminate their minds with new understanding. The afternoon light softened as they continued their journey, casting a golden glow across the landscape. Shadows lengthened across the path, and the air grew cooler with the approach of evening. Small birds fluttered among the branches of nearby trees, their sweet songs providing a peaceful backdrop to the travelers' conversation. The familiar path to Emmaus had never seemed so enchanting, as if touched by something sacred. As they drew near to the village, the sky had begun to shift into the deeper blues of early evening. The first stars were appearing, twinkling softly in the gathering dusk. Their mysterious companion made as if to continue on his way, but something in their hearts urged them to invite him to stay. Perhaps it was the peace they felt in his presence, or the way his words had touched their souls with hope and understanding. Their simple invitation was spoken with genuine warmth. "Welcome. Stay with us, for the day is nearly over." The village ahead offered the promise of rest and refreshment, and they could not bear to part from this wise and gentle stranger who had made their journey so meaningful. The lamps were being lit in distant windows, creating warm pools of light in the growing darkness. As they settled at a simple table in the village dwelling, the evening air was filled with the comforting aroma of fresh bread and the warm glow of oil lamps. Their companion took the bread in his hands with a familiar grace that stirred something in their memories. As he blessed it and broke it to share, their eyes were suddenly opened to recognize him. It was Jesus himself who had walked with them, taught them, and now sat at their table. In that moment of recognition, as their hearts filled with wonder and joy, he vanished from their sight. Yet the room remained filled with his presence, as if the very air had been blessed by his being there. The broken bread lay on the table before them, a tender reminder of his Last Supper, and now a symbol of his living presence among them. The two friends sat in peaceful amazement, their hearts burning within them as they recalled every moment of their journey. Now they understood why his words had touched them so deeply, why their hearts had felt so light in his presence. Even the evening shadows seemed to hold a gentle radiance as they absorbed the magnitude of what they had experienced. Despite the late hour, they rose from the table and hurried back to Jerusalem, their path lit by stars and their steps quickened by joy. The night air was cool and sweet, and their journey back seemed effortless, carried along by the wonder of their experience. Every step of the way, they marveled at how Jesus had drawn near to them in their confusion and doubt, walking alongside them with such patient love. This beautiful story reminds us that divine presence often comes to us in unexpected ways, walking beside us even in our moments of uncertainty and grief. Like the warm sunshine on a spring afternoon, grace appears in our lives when we least expect it, bringing light to our shadows and hope to our doubts.